have to understand that buying a house doesn't necessarily make you rich. Sometimes there are people who make improper decision when it comes to buy a house. And I see this and I say this from my own experience. Some of my friends, some of my colleagues, when it comes to buy a house, they made decisions which have made their life go further in difficult and challenging situation. When it comes to purchasing a property, a house, it would be the most expensive purchase you ever make in your life. House compared to other purchases like phones, like clothes, foods, groceries wouldn't be the same. But house, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands here. Very, very huge amount of value that you have to fork out the money. And most of us don't have the cash to buy a house in cash. Instead, we have to go on loans. So that make things more difficult instead. Like in Malaysia, most of economy resides in Kuala Lumpur city or Selangor, Petaling Jaya, and whatnot. But the thing is, they bought a property, they bought a house elsewhere. Some even stay as far as Seremban or Melaka, whereby their work locations in Kuala Lumpur city center. So imagine you have to wake up as early as 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then you rush to the bus to get the first bus and make sure that you'll be able to arrive at your office as early as 7 to 7:30 a.m. in the morning. And then after your work completes at around 5 o'clock in the evening, you have to rush back to your hometown, which is in Seremban, Semenyi, in Putrajaya or Malacca. So you will be on the road for the couple of hours, like 1 to 2 hours on the road in the morning, and then another 1 to 2 hours in the evening. So the biggest commodity you're losing, which is the time. And also there are hidden or phantom costs that you need to take into account. For example, if you're driving, then what would be the amount of mileage for you to fill the gas in your car? And also, what about the tolls? What about the maintenance of your cars? If you're driving every day, 20 days to 22 days per month, going to and fro from your home to your offices, and the wear and tear of your car also has to be considered. If you analyze it, probably buying a house near to your work location would be helpful in terms of your personal finance. When it comes to buy a house, they buy a property that to me doesn't fit their current settings. For example, couples who are just married, probably without any kid or with a kid, and they decide to buy a semi-D or a bungalow which comprise of about 5 to 6 bedrooms, whereas the kid is only one. So that makes me wonder, what are the use of the other bedrooms if it's only you, your spouse, and your one kid? How about the rest of the other bedrooms? Are they usable, or are you buying a property? You're buying a house that is beyond your requirement, which is probably a 2 or 3 bedrooms. That is sufficient for the time being for you with your spouse and your kid. You have to strike a balance, between the future and today, because at the moment it's just you, your spouse, and your one kid, or probably you just get married and without any kid. So I think about 2 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms would be enough for you for the next probably about 5 to 10 years ahead down the road. And imagine if this couple, they bought a house, semi-D or bungalow, with 5 to 6 bedrooms. I'm pretty sure that price would skyrocketing more than 1 million. Even in Kuala Lumpur, the price is more than 1 million. I think the suburban areas also, the cost is about close to 1 million or even more than 1 million. Now imagine if the couple decides to buy a property and they're living in Kuala Lumpur area, just adjacent to their work location, and they're staying in a condominium of 2 or 3 bedrooms, or apartment 2 to 2 bedrooms. The monthly installment would be half of what they pay if they are buying and living in a landed semi-D or bungalow house. I mean, it's their preference, it's the decision of the all. But what I'm trying to say here, if you are haven't deciding yet, or if you are about to buy a house, a property, and if you are just getting married, you want to decide which is best for you, and this is my sincere advice. I would think if you are still in a small family, then the better decision for you in terms of your finance is to go ahead with the smaller unit of properties. The second thing that will make you go broke and poor is your cars. Yep, house and cars. That are the two things that make you go broke and poor. How cars make you poor is basically by not adhering to the 12 times your salary. It's as simple as you have your net salary after you deduct all the tax and whatnot, and you multiply that 12 times. Like for example, if let's say your net income is 3,000 after you deduct all the EPF and tax and whatnot, so 3,000 multiply that by 12 will give you 36,000 ringgit. There you go. That's the amount of car, the value of car that you'll be able to purchase without having to think about the repercussion. And what this repercussion is, this repercussion includes all that things that is related to cars. For example, your fuel, your tolls, your parking, your insurance, your maintenance, yeah. So all of these costs will be sufficient if your cars is just 36,000 ringgit per year. Believe me, if you go beyond this 12 times your net salary, it will become a big problem, because you haven't taken into consideration all the other costs. Yeah, maybe you are thinking that, okay, my salary is this much and I have enough money to pay for the installment, but what about the other costs other than the monthly installment? Because you have to understand that buying car is not just about paying for your monthly installment. It's more than that. You have to consider all the other aspects of your car, not only monthly installment, but also the fuel, the insurance, the maintenance part of it. So if you are thinking carefully about car, then you'll be able to have an understanding of what are the whole expenses that you need to fork out when you purchase a car. So there you go, the two things that make people go broke and poor. If you do some maths, you do some analysis, you do some calculation, you will find out that, hey, if I manage to change, or if I manage to downgrade the house that I'm living in now, I can save perhaps another 1,000 ringgit. And if I also manage to downgrade the car that I'm driving today, I can also save another, let's say, 500 ringgit. So all in all, I could have another 1,500 ringgit or 2,000 ringgit more inside my wallet, and I can have more rooms to buy the things that are necessary in my life. Till then, see you again. I'll see you in my next video. Take care, guys. Assalamualaikum and bye bye.